This is part 2. I've put most of the loom on, rigged some parts up. I've got these parts to put on. I'll show where they go in a minute. If that's not on, your bike won't spark. That engine casing's painted now, and it's got the bearings in. I done that this morning, so I wasn't banging on late. I already put them bearings in the other day, so I'll be rebuilding the engine tonight and putting it in. But first we'll just put these into the harness, and that's the diode in. We've got these, that's not used, that 3 plug's not used. We've got that one there, but that isn't the one for this, so this must be the side stand one. This maybe's already inside there, taped up tight together, but we'll have a look at that further on if it doesn't spark or anything. Now, like most of everything's rigged up. Got the lights, one front indicator's rigged up to see what works. If you haven't got an ignition barrel ever, you just join them 2 wires, the 2 blue wires. There's 4 wires coming off it, and then when you touch these wires, the ignition comes on. So at least the power valve servo is working. Got the back light, brake light, and the back brake light. So the brake light's working. Servo motor's working. Horn's not working. Indicators. There's only one rigged up on this back. I haven't rigged the front one up, but on this side 2 should come on. There, one there, one there. So the indicators are working. Then check the hazards. So that's all the hazards working. And I had to put a new one of those on as well. This one's only got 2 prongs at the bottom. There should be 4. That's the new one I put on. That's what the starter motor goes on to. There's the engine. I'll just go upstairs, get the gearbox, all the bits to put in it, and then I'll be putting the engine together next with all the seals in, all the new bearings are in. Then we put the bottom end into the bike. So that's it there. The grab rail came with it as well, which is good because they're hard to get them. Just because that's fresh, you can see it's fresh black tape. It hasn't got that plug for that. I'm just going to have a check behind here, see what's behind just in case, because the 2 black wires, the black and white wires will plug into that, probably is behind here joined together, but we'll have a look anyway. So I took it off, the black duct tape, and there it is there. It was duct taped up there and tied round. There's the blue loop. I just followed the 2 black wires up just to make sure, but if your bike hasn't got that in, it won't spark. But at least it's got that. I've got the clocks on now. I brought all the bits down, what are in the boxes with it. This is what's in it. They're the bits what I'll be needing tomorrow. Some of the bits. This has got the baffle plate. Don't know which one that's off. So I can't remember the barrel on this. I don't know if the barrel on this had this on or not. Anyways. Yeah, that's good. Those keys there. What I'll be needing tomorrow, I'll just get all out of here now and put up on the bench. So this is everything up on the bench now, what I'll be needing for tomorrow. Got to select the forks. Alright. Gearbox is alright. Select the drum. Got 2 spaces for the engine. We'll go in there and there to keep it together. Widler cog washers. There should be 2 circlips to go with the bones bent. Goes with that. Got that for the clutch. That's for behind the clutch. Lock and tab for the clutch or the balancer shaft, one of the two, because there's 2 of them. Baffle plates there, I've just said, but that's a good thing. The 3 steer bracket screws are there, what normally round off. It's hard to get the steer bracket off. I might order a new bearing for in there. That's a steer bracket. Bearing's tight in there. I'm going to order a new bearing for there. I thought this was missing. It's the only thing I couldn't find, but I found it in them boxes down there. Everything else is there. Select the fork runner. Select the fork runner with the circlip on. Just going to need 1 circlip. That's it, I think. I've even got the ball out the middle of the clutch. Just check the push rods. There's the push rods on the end of the clutch, but that's not too bad. There's that. Got that. I'll clean that up. That's for the front sprocket. Goes on before you put the front sprocket on, just the bush. But that's everything for the engine. For what I need to do the bottom end, the screws should be in that box there on the top. If not, I'll have screws, but I need 2 baffle plate screws. I think that screw is the same as that screw. I'm going to screw that out and measure it, and if it is, I'll put it in there and Loctite it just to keep that bearing in. Starting on the engine now. Just got the plate in. I've just found the other screw. I've just Loctited them. I'm just going to get them in, then we'll start on the rest. I'm going to start on this side. Take that plate out, get that crank seal in there, put the plate back on with a bit of Loctite on that screw. You get 2 crank seals. The one with the bigger diameter goes in this side. Lube round the middle of there and push the seal in. So we've got the little screw lubed up, the seal clip ready to go on. This wasn't included. I've just took this out of an engine. There's only this and the back's the swinging arm bolt missing, and that's all what's been missing. So just move that up. It doesn't matter which way it goes in, it's the same on both sides. It just pushes into there. And that's the plate in with the seal and the collar. So now I'll put the crank in. Might need pulled through. Goes in that way. Alright. So now I'll put that back cog on. The woodruff key, the primary drive and the nut over this side. So we'll have that long woodruff key. Just put that in first. Now I'll put this on. Got that dot, it goes that way, facing the dot towards you. Slide it over that woodruff key. That's that one. Now get the primary drive. Just move in there, move round there as well. And that just slides over that woodruff key, over that square. Then you've got that. It's a spacer that goes in there. and then the end nut. Just put that on. That's all that on. I'll tighten that on when I get that cog on, when I put the penny in to lock the cogs. There's the crank. It's got a gap there, it will nip up when I tighten this up. But now we're working on this side. So put this down here. Drop the gearbox in next. So now the gearbox is going in next. I'll set the selector forks up in the proper order which to go on these bars, just so people know how to do them. So this is the gearbox set out, how to have it. Because that side's where the kickstart idler goes, them two clips for your circlips. That's going to be going through the bearing. And this side here, which your clutch basket fits on, is going through as well. Plus the end of the selector drum's going through as well. There's the forks. I'll just show that top bit. When you've got your fork looking like that with number 3 on, it goes like that. 55k, but it goes that way, so it's looking like that up against your circlip. Then you've got this one with number 1 on. That's got 55k on as well. If you look, you can tell by the triangles behind it. See, that's got a triangle on each end. It's only got one triangle on. So that's how that goes anyway. Then you've got this one for the centre one. With that little bar, just don't worry about that. I'll show an easy way to do it when we put in. There's a selector drum. That's what those fit. That's the centre one. This one, what we're going to leave to the last. They just run around there. That part of the gearbox should be looking like that. There's a circlip at the bottom. This part's going through that casing. Then add this shaft to it. And if that's flush, if the top's flush, it's all alright to go in. It's just the tricky bit, this. Then we get the selector drum, put the selector drum on top of there. And you get the 2 runners. It's tricky to hold. You see the 2 runners in them. That's for the top and the bottom, that's the centre one. Now just pop the gearbox all down in one unit like that. And just get all the way, not all the way down, but just as far as I've got it. Push that pin down. And now this centre selector fork, which is easy to put on this way instead of trying to put it on all the rest when you've got to slot it in. Just get your fork, pull the runner up what it fits into, fit it into, and slide it into the middle runner, which is that I've just lubed all these. That's the middle runner, what that's in now. And then that bar just slides straight down into the hole. So if you can see it there, I don't want to tip it up too much. There, that bar just slides straight through the hole. That's your gearbox in. Now just tap it down. But before you tap it down, make sure that, if you can see on the end of the selector drum there, the selector drum's through the metal part, which it is. So we'll just tap it all down now. That's it all in now, tap down. There it is on that side. Tapped through. The 2 shafts are tapped through as well. So that's everything on this side now. See, I've lubed all these up before. Nothing else to lube up. All I've got to do now is high them all around this surface. But when you high them all, don't forget to do that bit. I've got the balancer shaft to push in as well. There's the balancer shaft. Just push that in now, just lube it around there. slots in there like that. Move the top as well. So now we'll glue the Hylamar around here and then pull the top casing down. So now we'll get this casing on. I've lubed in there and in there. Should just slide on. Now I'll get the crank tool on, nip the cases together. That's the crank tool on now. We can just tighten this nut and it'll nip the casings. We might have to tap the back with a rubber mallet. Just keep an eye on the back because the back sometimes sits up. And that's it all pulled down now. I've put some bolts in. These are just rusty. I'm going to change these. I'll just put these in just while I put all the screws in. Yeah, I'm just on trying to get this. It's like I don't know what it is, but I've fitted that up. I've just been hitting it with a socket. I've just got to get that out first before I can get the bearings and that in. It's moving a little bit. Just got to keep hammering it. It's nearly out. Sticking up the bottom a bit. And that's it out. I'll just push in all there. That's what was still left in. Just looked like the outside of the bearing. So I've got the new bearings in the swinging arm. Right, I'm just messing on before I finish the engine. I've got them to put on. Got that. There's the bolts. I've got them. 2 of them. They go in there like that. That's what they look like. One goes in the back. So does the other one. And then the bolts will keep this on. These two. I didn't think they'd be that long. But they go through there like that. Got a chain guard as well to put on. So we'll get all these put on now. That's all the back on. Put the clips on. The chain guard. The bottom runner. And the front chain slider. Now we can get back on with the engine. So now we're back on the engine on this side. I'm going to put the front spotted bush in, which I've already lubed up. It goes in anyway. Just pushes in. I'm going to put the steer bracket on with the 3 screws with some Loctite. The clutch bearing. I'll leave that seal out just while we're working, just the inside doesn't get nothing on it. We'll get that in, get the seal in, that's the bearing in, we'll get the seal in, got the washer and the arm and the spring, so we'll get them in now. That's the seal in now. Just glued around it. Just going to get the clutch arm now. Don't remember that washer. Put the washer on first. It sits on top of the seal. Then this just slides in. Have the spring like that. So that's what's going around there. And that bit drips onto here. So it just pushes in. Then pull that spring back through that gap. That's your spring on. But even if that gap, they're normally snapped up there. But doesn't matter about this spring, not making it spring back, because when the clutch is on, the springs of the clutch opening in and out, spring this backwards and forwards. Now to put the steer bracket on, I've looped the 3 screws that were Loctite. I've cleaned all that because I'm going to find a new bearing for it. Anyway, that just pushes on. Make sure it's in. And get the screws. Use one of these. You see, I always call them posse screws, but people keep correcting us, keep getting wrong with people. That jizz bits, Japanese International Standard or something like that, but that's the thin one. Use that end one for these screws. They're just a perfect fit, they don't round off or nothing. That's why most DTR screws are rounded, because people don't use the jizz bits. So I've just put a little tiny bit in the bottom. Some people put all the way up. You've got to think when that goes through the threads, it goes a canny way up anyway. But we'll put the last one in anyway. That's the steer bracket on. That's everything done on this side, apart from the neutral switch. So I'm just going to put that in, put a tiny bit of thread on the bottom, and then we'll turn around and work on the other side. Now we'll get the idler cover on. There's one circlip, I've just straightened it up. I've just got another one. Just get the first circlip put on there. That's that one clipped in. Now I get one of these washers, there's 2, I've lubed it up. That washer goes on there. Then you get your kickstart idler. Goes on that way. You notice on the back of the teeth. All got that groove up, whereas the front haven't. Anyway, I've lubed in there, that slides on there. And another washer exactly the same as the washer on the back. And the last circlip. Make sure it goes in. That's the idler cob. There's no movement there when you wobble it. Now we'll get the selector drum tensioner on, which is just that. Just make sure it's flat. Make sure the round ball runs. It doesn't move. There's no flat spots on it. It's all straight. You've got that spring. That bit of the spring sits down in the casing. So it goes like that. Goes like that. That bit out underneath. That circle fits on the neutral on this drum. I would say they've all got points. Neutral hasn't. So get neutral to there if you're not already neutral there. It's easy to get on. And then I've Loctited this and knotting it up with a little collar on. So just put that in. Just put in slightly first, and just move the tensioner. You have this nut in slack enough so the tensioner can still move. And just move the tensioner over to neutral if possible. Just push it to there as near as neutral as you can. Because this nut's got a collar on. This might not be on straight, just keep tightening this up gently and we'll move this over. Don't tighten it too much. Just when you feel a nip there, That's it. Plus it's got Loctite on. And around about this time I always put that cotton bud in there. Do you remember about the clutch push rod and the ball bearing? So just leave that there. Even when the ball bearing's in, push that back in, because when you're messing on, the ball bearing will drop out. Now we'll get the balancer shaft cog on with the little woodruff key, which is that. Let's zoom out now. It's in that slot there if you can see it. On the top there. Anyway, we'll lube it up. Just need this cog on to tighten that nut up. Pushes in. Then you've got that cog with the dot on the outside. Just lube in there. When you line this cog up, there's a circle on this cog where you might see there. This cog has to line up with that. Should just push on. Look. That's it. That's the two circles matching. Now there's two of these. One's the clutch basket, that one's for this one because it's got that little cut in. That groove fits in the way the woodruff key goes. So let's put on there. Put the nut on. If the nut fits, that's can you fall bent back that. But it's best not to bang them back, because then when you tighten the nut up, if you bang them all the way back, you can't get round to bang them back over. So that's that, and that's that, having tight. Now I'll get the balancer shaft on. I've got two screws. There's a balancer shaft. That's the balancer shaft with the screws with Loctite on the bottom. Just put that in. That's the balancer shaft in. So now I'll put the two washers on the back of the clutch. I've already looped them both. There's the other one down there. It's conical, this one, it's like a C shape, goes on that way. So push that on there. That one goes on first. And we've got that one. That goes on there like that. Now we're going to lock these two bolts. I always put that nut on there to protect these fine threads, just as the ratchet's coming round. Anyway, put that one on first. It's clockwise to turn it. And the penny goes in there. And best use a penny because a penny's softer than this metal, so it just bends. Doesn't smash nothing. People who wedge screwdrivers in there and smash them. Anyway, we'll just tighten this nut up. We'll talk it up later. Just the torque wrenches upstairs. Let's take that's the penny out. Now for this one, I've got the penny in the top. You can normally tell how tight to go on this one, because when your nut gets to the right tightness and you feel how tight it should be, the tab is parallel with the top of the nut, what it bangs down onto. And it's nearly there now, I can feel it. It's tight there. Oh, it's as tight as I can get it. Get the penny out. Doesn't do much damage to it this time. Only bends them. Anyway, I'll get it and bang that bracket down there. That's the bracket I was on about being parallel. You might not be able to even see it with the camera out of focus. But we'll tap that down now. That's the top part banged over the nut now. Now I'm going to put the reeds on. Gasket on first. Check the reeds are alright. Inlet's alright as well. It's of a different one, that inlet. So it doesn't have a gasket there. In between there, it has a gasket there. So just put that gasket on. Get your 4 bolts. Make sure they all go through the gasket as you put on, because sometimes if you push all this on, and then push the screws through, the gasket goes offline and you end up ripping the gasket. So we'll get that on now. I wanted to get the clutch, but I've got that as well. When I've picked the clutch up and that, all the plates, I don't know if they're all there, in embosses there, but the outer clutch has got two things snapped off the end, so I'm going to have to put another clutch basket off something else on. But we'll get this part of the clutch on first. And the plates. Plates are still dry, air's still wet, but I might leave them in some oil for a bit. So I've got a dish there for the plates. I'm just going to put some oil in there, then drop the plates in. Now I'm going to get the gear shaft on before I put the clutch on. So I'm just going to put that sealer on the other side, lube around the middle of it. Then that's the gear shaft. Just this bit what sticks out the engine, give it a wire brush, take all the brown off, lube it up. I've looped the seal on the other side so it just pushes through. Them 2 bits there fit over that black bar. That's the black bar what the 2 selector forks fit onto in the gearbox. So just slide that in, keep hold of the seal as you're putting it in. It's going in nice and easy. You have to smooth it down nicely. Just keep a hold of it as it pushes through the seal. Just slides on like that. Smooth the seal alright as well. Now that that's on and the clutch is ready, I might have to put the kickstart shaft in first before the clutch. But anyway, just that little reminder. Get the clutch rod. Just get the clutch rod, just wipe it down, make sure there's no rough parts on it. Then get some grease. Push it in there. And get the little ball bearing. My hands are still greased, so I'll just rub it like that and it'll grease it. Put the little ball bearing in. Push it in. So there's the other clutch rod. You see the way on the top, just a tiny bit off the ball. But see how that nut's flush with the screw in the middle? That's how you normally have them and they're alright. Just push that in, so it pushes that all the way back. Just put that in there for the time being. That's the tab on and the nut. The clutch holding tool, you've got to have one of those. Because if you try and slacken that nut, this whole thing just spins. This keeps everything still. Anyway, we'll tighten that nut up in the middle. Tighten up that and then I'll just bang that tab down what's parallel with the top of the nut, just keep that nut from spinning out. The washer tapped over the top. Now I'm going to put the clutch basket on, but I've got a separate video for that, just so it doesn't make this video last ages. So I'll just put all the clutch basket on, then edit it, then come to the casing. That's the clutch plates on. I'll put the link up in the top corner of how to put the plates on properly. Just it would take 4 minutes of my video, but it's taking too long already anyway. I just wanted to quickly show this. That circle on the top of this, there's nowhere else. That circle goes up with that circle there. And just get the 5 springs in and the 5 little bolts. I've got that case in there to go on. I've just got to put a water pump seal in. So that's the clutch basket bolts in. When you tighten them in, tighten them that way in a sequence, crisscross. I've got that to go on next. Yamaha panel. I haven't put the kickstart seal in yet. Got the oil pump to put in as well. I've got that to go on as well. But I haven't got a Yamaha gasket yet, so I'm going to wait before I put that on. But I'll put this on later. So that's the new water pump sealing. I haven't put the oil pump in yet. Just going to be putting this on now. Just put this gasket on. Then when I do pushing this casing on, instead of just, you see how there's no bolts in the holes, you just push the casing on, then push bolts through. Soon as the gaskets drop, they'll come away like that. So you get your gasket, so when you put it on, leave a gap about that much. You see the threads going through the casing, through the gasket and into the back casing. I'll lube that as well. I'll lube the seal. Actually. Lube that seal there. Just push it on. That's what I meant by leaving a gap, so you can see the gasket. Just push the bolt through, and you see it go through into the other casing. So you know that gasket holds alright. Do the same with that one. Make sure it goes in. Just do that all the way around. Well, it's time to tighten it up. So that's the casing on it. That's how I wanted it. I wasn't really worried about the flywheel or the carb or the barrel. I just wanted the bottom end done to put in the bike, so the bench is clear. So I'll be putting the engine in the bike shortly. So that's the engine in the bike now. I haven't got the header barrel on or nothing, got the carb or anything. Nothing's wired up. Just the swinging arm. Back shot I'm getting painted, so that's not on. So that's it up to now. Next video I'm going to be putting all the harness tied in the right places and stuff, instead of having it just hanging. Get the barrel head on. Front and back wheels. Panels, mud guards. Headlight panels are what coming. But that's it for this video. Alright, thanks for watching.